Welcome to the Singapore Property Show 2021 by MediaCorp and our partners, 99 Group and top real estate agencies, PropNext, ERA, Huttons, Orange Tea, and SRI. It has been 1 year since COVID-19 hit worldwide, making a tremendous impact on the global economy market. All sectors were not spared. Particularly for Singapore's real estate market, we witnessed significant fluctuations in both our residential and commercial markets. Are these trends unpredictable? Not exactly. With close monitoring, one will be able to account for each fluctuation as they come. Moving forward, what will the market bring us? How will it impact our property activities? More importantly, how can we make sensible pointers from the data and react accordingly? Speaking on the topic of discovering the epic changes in real estate trends over the past 1 year, will be CEO of PropNext, Mr. Ismail Ghafoor. He will then also be joined by Advisory Associate Branch District Director of PropNext, Mr. Ken Ng, later on to talk about an upcoming project, The Landmark. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you our speakers.
Hi, good afternoon. It's really very, very exciting day because I remember my journey started a year ago as an inaugural partner with MediaCorp and 99.co, bringing the Singapore Property Show. This morning, we had a very exciting time. Yep, many of you may have joined me together with Wong Siu-Eng, my head of content and research, as we gave a macro perspective of the real estate market. I'm here, had my lunch, and I hope most of you also had your good lunch. Grab your drink, grab your desserts, whatever it may be, to just stay on for the next 1 hour. And I'm going to give you as much information as possible and immediately, and I want you to stay on. I promise you not to exceed 45 minutes because the timekeepers are extremely strict here before they get me out of the room. And the next person, Ken Ng, is going to give you a property, probably I could say, you see, $1 million question here is when and where should we invest? And this is one development that I've got in a huge plus points. Okay, coming to today's session, the epic changes in the last 1 year. One of the standard disclaimer statements that we all speakers do here is this: because of the speed that we communicate, it is only fair and important that each of you will have to do your due diligence, speak to the professional salespeople or the professionals like the financials, bankers, and so on before making any decision. Today's topic, we are going to cover some of these things, definitely about how has the dynamics, the behavioral of consumers, and as well as the whole ecosystem ever since the pandemic, people do buy and invest in real estate market. Obviously, we are talking about the resale market. Probably I will stress a bit some of the pointers as well, and profile of the home buyers who are actually buying the core central region and as well as the OCR and the RCR, just to give you that little confidence, my friends, before I go on much deeper into the various points that we hope to achieve today. Believe me, how we wish if we have the ability to bring back time 50 years ago, or for that matter, 70 years ago. Would you believe a bungalow of 6,000 square foot land size freehold 70 years ago in the early 1950s were merely a price of less than $50,000? And today, that same property is worth $10 million. Sounds crazy. Then you said, Mr. Ismail, we are talking about today's norm. Why are you talking about 70 years ago? It makes no sense. But put it this way, even if you take in 2005, a landed property in the area of the eastern part of Singapore at 6,000 square foot only cost $2.8 million. Let me say again, $2.8 million. And the same property today transacted at $9.5 million. So what is this thing about property? What is it that Singaporeans, despite pandemic last year, yet have been buying in huge number of volumes? Prices have been going up, and actually I do empathize with many of us, or many of you, or all of us, whichever way you put it. The point here is this: why aren't the property prices coming down? We are talking about in a global pandemic, and yet property prices are moving upward. And then the question here is this the right time to enter? Should we not wait? Should not the prices come down much lower? Okay, there are many, many things that I've asked, but let's look into some of the pointers moving forward. Here, I just would like to highlight to you how the tech-enabled digital sales have in a way disrupted. When you look at it here, in fact, I'm showing you from January last year to April this year, and exactly the circuit breaker period, really the volume of transactions hugely dipped to 234 and 441, almost half or less. In fact, it was in a panic situation last year. Honestly, many reasons. All stakeholders were not prepared. The developers were not ready to show the show flat virtually. Neither were the salespeople, not in big numbers, were trained enough. And the consumers didn't have that comfort or confidence to make a decision virtually. And I can understand perfectly when Singapore's property prices are among the highest in the world. We are talking about $1 million for a small house, and even in a public housing, well above $500,000. How many of us dare to make decision virtually without looking at the brick and mortar? And that's exactly what happened last year. And then when the phase 2 came about, more and more confidence. And the main reason here is this, and I must say, today, the tech-enabled and people are confident. At the end of the day, if you are buying a new launch, you must understand the developer have gotten an obligation to give you 1 year of defects liability period. In other words, you buy a property, you collect the keys, and you got 1 year. If there's any defects, the developer have to make good. So people tend to understand more with greater knowledge, and the tech people are actually buying. Therefore, I'm trying to say, with even in the increased restrictions recently phase 2, believe me, right now as I'm talking, this weekend and yesterday, more and more consumers are ready and confident to make decisions virtually. And that's the right thing. I think, put it this way, there has been a paradigm shift in the behavioral pattern. And it is important, but just not emotional purchase. Let's look at some of these things. Wider reach and greater efficiency. And I would like to encourage all the consumers out there. In the past, and I remember as a salesperson many years back, we have to make arrangement for one weekend. A client can see as many as 8 houses, 10 houses. And yet, you know what is the end state of it? The clients themselves confused, not being able to remember which property was what color and what tiles. And I can accept that because we had problems too. But today, at the comfort of the home, the salespeople can bring it to you, narrow down 6 or 7 properties, virtual tour, and you can discuss over popcorn and say, no, this is not what I like. I don't like this facing. I don't like these finishings. I don't like whatever it is. And you narrow down your choices to that 2 or 3, and then make, if necessary, a physical viewing. I still can respect consumers wanting to do a physical, because nothing beats than touching the brick and the mortar and having the feel of the surroundings and what is happening. It's perfectly okay. But sometimes it is also good. As you go to a physical viewing, you will see the next door on the left and right. Is there any sign saying that old people pay money back or whatever it is? That is a sign what kind of neighborhood or neighbors you are going to live with. So having said that, these are some of the things that we have witnessed. Going digital, wider reach, greater efficiency, not only for developers from virtual sales, buyers and sellers are able to narrow down properties without having the hassle of going, and safety comes first. And obviously for real estate salespersons, and the engagement, the communication, and the trust have really been positive. Let me now just come and give it to you. I know some of you may have heard me in the morning, but I'm going to emphasize, even though some of the slides I may be using the same as in the morning, but my emphasis, the point that I want to bring to you will be different. I mean, this is something that I would like to highlight. What are we looking at here? So basically, this is the better than expected market performance in a crisis. Last year, we had 9,982. And you look at it in the years of 2014 to 16, the numbers were barely 7,000 plus. And we are talking about the first quarter alone this year, 3,493. Can you imagine one quarter, 3,005, and you multiply it 4 times? We are talking about a 14,000 new launches. Is it possible? It did not take place in the recent years. But all I am trying to say here is this: the market is resilient. Why so? Maybe it is in the Singaporean blood. What else can we do? We love to eat. We love to shop. And Singaporean by nature is the highest property ownership in the world. And we take an active approach utilizing our CPF ordinary account and as well our accumulated savings and surpluses money that we have. So I'm just trying to say here is this: the market did better than expected in a crisis. And what are some of the real critical reasons here is because always in a crisis, it becomes a buyer's market. When it is a buyer's market, developers tend to price it sensitively. And that's why it gives greater confidence to the consumers to buy. I mean, obviously, there's another huge reason, and we also talked about it, is a low interest rate environment. My friends, I've been in the business for some time, and I did invest as early as back in the late 1980s. If any one of you would like to guess, in the years of the 1989, yep, or maybe even in the early years of the 1990s, what was the interest rate the bank were charging? And I remember the property by the name of Costaru when I bought it in the late 1988 or 89. The interest rates were well above 6.75 to 7%. And today we are talking about the mortgage interest rate in Singapore for the last 10 over years, less than 3%. And right today, based on the pandemic and the crisis, the interest rates are well below 2%. So crises do provide opportunities, but there are risks. I totally agree with you. There are risks. Therefore, I would like to first and foremost really want all the listeners to say, I for one, as Ismail Ghaffar, PropNext CEO, do not encourage anyone you to be speculative, emotional, over leveraged. That's not our teaching. Our guidance is simple. Property is a way to accumulate wealth and legacy as long as you take a prudent approach and not overstretch yourself. Okay, so that much that I wanted to highlight as far as how the market has performed in a crisis. This is a slide that I'm going to spend a little bit more time, okay? The point that I like to illustrate here is this. I'm trying to make it extremely clear to all the listeners. You see, usually what will elders tell us? You see, elders always come with huge amount of experience. So we respect them for their experience. But the problem here is this. The outlook of the market has shifted. So sometimes the old experience cannot be repeated in today's norm. I'll give you an example. Won't you believe our grandparents and parents will say, hey, they bought HDB property at $50,000. In fact, my father-in-law bought his 3-room at Mountbatten for $6,200. And we are talking about 50 years ago. And then they sell it for $50,000, some of them. And those people who bought it at $50,000 sold it for $100,000, and those who bought it at $100,000 sold it at $200,000 and $200,000, $400,000. But therefore, does it make sense for you to go and buy now a HDB at $500,000 and sell it $1 million, and a person who buy $1 million sell it at $2 million? It doesn't make sense. Not only for public housing, even for private property, because we have to come to realization that Singapore's real estate market have attained a maturity. So today prices only move up in tandem with inflation, demand, supply, and all other things put together. Okay, so in this slide, what am I going to stress? Some of the point here is this. In the past, the real estate market has been more volatile. And why do I say that? Because the government did not introduce many of the measures. That's why when you witness the Asian financial crisis, the property prices dropped in 8 quarters by 40%. So can you imagine those people who bought it at $2 million, 2 years later, 40% is 1.2 million. How many people would have gone bankrupt? And same thing during the dot-com and the SARS, year 2003. Property prices over 15 quarters, which is almost 4 years, was in a mode of stagnation and sliding downward, and it went down by minus 20%. But the point here is this: immediately after the recovery of the SARS, those people who had the guts to buy during the slide, what did they benefited? In the next 17 quarters, the property prices went up by 58%. So what is the story here? Is this: if you look at the peak, you see the peak here and the peak here and the peak. Even though the property prices do take some slide down southwards, as long as you have the holding power, as long as you decide when to sell and not the banker asks you to sell because you are in a dire need, you are in trouble. People can always ride over a crisis. So, and then again, what am I trying to highlight here is this: therefore, in the past, it has been more volatile, including the global financial crisis when the property prices went down by minus 24.9. But lately, things has changed. What has changed? Because ever since 2013, so I'm going to draw the line. So the history, and now we are at a different market background. And thanks to the government. When the government introduced a series of cooling measures, which include additional stamp duties, seller stamp duties, loan to value, TDSR, which is total debt servicing ratio, basically the government have eradicated to a huge extent speculators. Speculators are no good to the market because they push the price very fast. They tend to flip the property. You know, those days people just buy an option. You'd be shocked to know. You know, people who queue to get an option can flip it to the next buyer the very day and can make 20,000, 25,000, not even owning the property a day. And people who buy at the launch and then they can sub-sell it the next month and can make 100,000, 200,000. Are they good? Honestly, they are not good. So the government realized this is a false way of pushing the prices. So the government introduced in 2013 the various measures that I mentioned. So what has happened ever since then? The market is more firm because today's buyers comes in with an open eyes that when they buy, they cannot sell the property within the next 3 years. And if they sell, they are subjected to seller stamp duty. It was 4, but the government reduced it to 3. Number 2, today all the buyers are subjected to stringent total debt servicing ratio, which means to say, if their income is not strong enough, and especially if some of their salaries are based on overtime and allowance, there's a huge haircut. Okay, these are all mandated and guidelines by MAS. So much so, in recent crisis of the pandemic, even though the economy was going through some challenges and stress last year, most or almost all, or most, I won't say all, of the investors did not dump the property. Why did in the past property prices went down so fast, so much? Because it has got to do with demand and supply. When people panic during the global financial crisis, the Lehman crisis, they all tend to sell because they say that I don't know how bottom it will go and I don't have the means. But today, no. Today, every single buyer since 2013 was subjected to total debt servicing ratio, which means they have the capacity to hold on to the property despite there is a slowdown in the economy because they didn't over leverage. And that's why the real estate market have proven, despite the cooling measures introduced in 2018, it only went down by minus 0.7%, less than 1% in 2 quarters. And why? That was a knee-jerk reaction. In July 2018, when the government realized the market was moving too hot, 9% in the last 4 quarters, they came out with additional cooling measures. Basically, they increased the additional stamp duties and all other things. What happened? Knee-jerk. People tend to pull back and the prices went down less than 1%. And then people started to understand, hey, this doesn't make a difference. People are not dumping the properties. The desire to own properties was still stronger, and people started to come back to the market. And that's why in the subsequent 3 quarters, the property prices went up by 3.4%. Then pandemic struck us last year. Again, people were a bit worried. Prices went down by -1%. And then the government stimulus package, and people get overcome, and job market was really not that bad, even though some people lost their job. And I must agree, basically retail and airline, we must understand, Singapore do attract the best talent, tech businesses, companies from China, from many other parts. Headquarters are being established, more inflow of talents and people, and property prices went up in the last 4 quarters, 6.6%. Okay, so this is broadly to understand. Only one point that I wanted to illustrate here, my friends, is just to say, looking at the past may not be the same. What we need to understand here is this: the current market situation is more dynamic and resilient due to all the OB markers and the cooling measures being put in place. Okay, let's move on. These are some of the things that I did mention earlier: the TDSR, ABSD, seller stamp duty, tighter home to loan ratios, and so on. So with all these things in place today, all I'm trying to ask is, people always ask me this question, Mr. Ismail, is it the right time to buy? I would say the right time to buy was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. So nobody would be able to gauge the right time when. My answer to this, and I'm quite sure many of you may have these same thoughts in your mind. When is the right time? To me, the right time is when you enter the market comfortably with the ability to hold on to the property for at least minimum next 5 to 10 years, regardless of what happens to the economy. You must have the ability. As long as you can tie this over, I don't think there is any concern when you should buy. Okay, let's move on. How is the market different today compared to the past? There's healthy demand and less speculative buying, which I've already highlighted for the reasons. Ample liquidity. People do have cash. The stock market is generally doing fairly well, and some people make huge amount of money, be it either cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, and whatever it is. And people still do have enough savings. People are not traveling. People are not spending money, and people still get bonuses. And then ample liquidity coupled with low interest rate and not being able to travel. Probably you travel from one show flat to another show flat. What else do you do? Buy property. Okay, not only that, there's also another reason. People also now decide to upsize. And that is very evident from the huge number of resale properties are being sold. Because work from home, they realize having the children, having the maid, and they have to work from home, they need an additional room or additional space. So there are a lot of things supporting the demand, and as well as declining unsold supply. Yep, you know, in fact, the next slide probably will let you see the number of balanced units available. Sentiment economy is good. This year, though last year was really negative, this year we are expecting 4 to 6% growth despite the pandemic. Yep. This is what I meant. Look at it. Just 2 years ago, the supply was about 36,839. As of the first quarter this year, the number have dropped to 21,602. As I am talking, in the month of April alone, we had 1,000 over unit, 1,200 unit, and may probably come by end of this month, we will have less than 20,000 units. And the demand for such units for new launches per year is about 10,000. So the existing stock does not last moving forward. And that's why there have been a positive demand and resiliency in the market. Very quick snapshot. Sorry. Can somebody just throw a bottle of water for me? Yep. Yep. So what am I going to say here is this: the HDB resale volume definitely gained strength. And you look at it in terms of the previous, from 17,000, it has been going all the way up to 23,713 in 2019. And last year, thank you so much, really appreciate that. Last year, we witnessed a 24,748. Thank you. And when I look at the numbers, 24,748, and just for 4 months this year, is 9,925. It's almost 10,000, 4 months. So if you replicate every 4 months, 10,000, 10,000, we are likely to hit close to 30,000. But it may not be 30,000, but it has been proven, my friends. Look at it. Third quarter, 7,007. Fourth quarter, 7,006. First quarter, 7,000 plus. So every quarter we are getting numbers of 7,005, 7 is actually 30,000. Yep. So what does it mean? A strong HDB market, fuel demand for upgraders of the resale, and as well as the mass market, and as well as RCR properties. And I will show you some of these data and details. And actually, I'm very positive about it. I talked about it, but I didn't show these slides. Look at it, those days. Those days, public housing in the year 2007, a singular year went 17.5%, 2008, 14%. After the Lehman crisis, 8%, 14%, 10%. So it is not unusual those days for HDB property prices to go up by 10 over %. But if you ask me, is it healthy? Honestly, I say not healthy. Would I wish HDB property go up by 10% every year? I say no. Why? We should think of the next generations, our children, the future. If 10% per year, my friends, if a HDB property is 500,000 today, 5 years later, it will be 803,000. 10% plus compounding effect. And the same property, another 5 years, at 10%, would you guess the amount? Today is 500, 10 years down the road, if the property prices continuously go up by 10%, believe me, it will be 1.3 million. Obviously, that's a no-go. But what am I trying to highlight here is this. Unfortunately, the property prices since 2014, 13, and all the way up to 2018, for 6 years continuously, it has been going down, 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 minus 10%. Public housing, 1 million HDB owners in the last 6 years went down 10%. Is it good? It's no good. You know why? Because for Singaporean, HDB many of them is the retirement plan. They downsize or right size to cash out. But if the property prices goes down and not even keeping pace with inflation, and when they sell, they have to return back the loan to the bank plus the interest to CPF, they don't make money. So I am one who strongly advocate public housing should keep pace with inflation. Some correction is okay, but it shouldn't be double digit. So the good news here is this. Eventually last year, my friends, good news, a lot of owners saw sunlight because it went up by 5% and the first quarter went up by 3%. But what does all this mean? If HDB prices started to move up, obviously it will have a greater churn and a demand in the market across the board. And that's why the private property is also doing well. Let's look at the private resale market. Private resale market, wow. I think this year is going to be an exceptional year. Why I say that? Look at the numbers. Last year, already it went up by 20%. From 8,949 to 10,729 unit, 20%. And if you look at those years after the cooling measures, it was only 6,000, 5,000 to 6,000. But just the first 4 months alone, we have got 6,000 units. So what is it going to be? I think the number will exceed well above 14,000 to maybe 15,000 resale flat this year. Why the resale flats are doing very well? Yep, exactly for the reasons that I highlighted. People are taking advantage of many advantages they have, particularly the low interest rate environment and lifestyle. Always crises do provide opportunities as long as those people who do their sums right. Okay, so that's something is happening. And if you look at it, supporting resale prices also here is people are also looking at resale sometimes because of the construction delays. People today who buy may not be able to get the keys to the house in the next 2-3 years. Sometimes it's delayed 3 years, 4 years. and people want a roof over their head, and people want a bigger space because they're working from home or the family size increases. And that's why the resale market has been buoyant. And you ask me, this trend is going to continue for the rest of the year. Okay. But however, I want to highlight to all listeners some of the key critical factors that you must be aware of. I mean, this morning, I think I would like to suggest that those of you who can go to our Facebook and look, because this morning, or even 99.co, you can go and look at this morning's session by myself and Wong Siu-Ying. We have completely illustrated, but I'm not going to repeat that because my time is very limited time to share with you. The price gap between new launches and resale is about 46%. It's so exciting. Why resale? But on the other hand, I want to say, the resale properties for the last 10 years went up by less than 30%, while new launches for the same period went up by almost 60%. So the question you need to ask here is this: what suits your needs? So it's not wrong to buy resale, but the capital appreciation is relatively lesser. New launches, because of its advantages, especially one of the key things for all of you who are looking at resale here is this: the balance lease matters. New launches come with a 99-year lease intact, yes, minus the construction period. But a resale property, the balance lease, if you go and buy something that is only 75, 70 years or 73 years, and you stay there for another 10, 15 years, and the lease drops 60 or below 60, huge disadvantage, because there are restrictions on the amount of CPF you can use, and when the estate is becoming older, the maintenance issues and the rental yield become lesser because people have a choice to rent a newer flat, a newer place, nearer MRT, better amenities, better facilities. So when the rental yield drop, lease drop, capital appreciation become stagnation. So that is one thing that you need to be careful about. So if you ask me, I did mention this morning as well, if you're buying a resale property that is 10 years, 15 years, perfectly all right. New properties have its advantages as well, okay? I'm sorry, we're going to jump into some of the profile of buyers. Who are those people who are buying? If you're trying to understand, hey, Mr. Ismail, you are saying that despite all the pandemic, people are buying. You see, something so glaring. This slide is so busy, but I just want to highlight something. In year 2010, Singaporeans only accounted to 73.4%. Last year, Singaporeans accounted to 84.4% of the new homes. You see, just now you were thinking, hey, the new launch property prices have gone up so much. How can Singaporean afford? And last year was more sales done compared to the year before. And yet, the percentage of Singaporeans bought increased by exactly 10%, 73.4 to 84.4. In fact, 11%. And then look at the foreigners. Foreigners in about 2011 was 17%, 2010, 13%, and last year dropped to 3.8%. So who benefited actually? Singaporeans were the ones who went into the market during a pandemic. First, foreigners restricted travel. Second thing, they have their own problems to worry in all over the world, in their own countries. Singaporeans took advantage of the sensitive pricing of the developers and entered the market confidently. So this is good news because I'm happy Singaporeans are buying, because at the end of the day, Singapore belongs to us and it is the lifestyle that we want to give our loved ones. Okay, let's now further scrutinize where are the areas. Actually, you know, when we talk about property, we always talk about CCR, RCR, and OCR. CCR refers to Cost Central Region. And where is this place? Cost Central Region is District 9, 10, 11, downtown financial centers, which is Robinson and Marina Bay area and so on. Cost Central Region. And look at it again. This is really interesting numbers. 10 years ago, in 2011, Singaporean accounted to only 49%, less than half of all the Orchard Road and the areas of downtown. More foreigners bought. Foreigners 33, PR 12, companies buy, but Singaporeans didn't buy. But just look at the first 4 months. Singaporean accounted to 79.3%, 80% of properties at Orchard Road, District 9, District 10, District 2, Singaporeans are buying. So what does it mean? Entry-level prices are attractive, and Singaporeans are looking at owning iconic development and projects as an investment or for their own home as well. So this has taken place. This is as far as core central region. Look at now RCR, rest of the central regions. The rest of the central regions, again, you want to see 10 years ago from 67% for the first 4 months, or last year is 83%. Again, Singaporeans are coming in. And I want to just hold here a thoughts. Already I've got indication ready, time warning that I don't have much time. I have to speed up because I've got question and answers again. But nevertheless, I want you to understand this. Okay, let me bring my tempo, because when I talk, I'm so passionate, so excited. Hi. You know why I changed my tonality? So that you can hear me. When we invest in properties in Singapore, it is like playing Monopoly game. Do you want to own all the Orchard Road belt, the Bond Street, the Mayfair? Or do you want to own the RCR, which is the Trafalgar, or in Singapore's case is the Marine Parade, or in Chinatown or wherever it is? Or do you want to own the OCR, which is the Tampines, the Jurong, and elsewhere? And I want to say, RCR properties, just now remember I say core central region is District 910, which is the center, is the core, the Orchard Road belt. RCR is just the outskirt, the Balestier, the Novena, yep, as far as Marine Parade, that's it. Then the rest is outside the central region. So, there are opportunities. Why am I talking for this session? Because the next product can, and I want you to hear, you are so lucky is because this is one product that is in RCR, but actually you can shake hand with CCR. So you pay the price of RCR for CCR. Are you smarter? I let you decide after Ken's presentation because I don't have much time. But this is something that, you see, in your assessment, you must make sense. Entry level, all my friends, hi, my listeners, let me tell you, buying is easy. It could be emotional decision. But I want you to buy, enter the market at the right price so that there is an upside for you. Not overpay and then you pray every day, no cooling measure, you don't lose your job. That should not be. Investing should be a journey that you are enjoying it and you're excited about it. Okay, so that's as far as the RCR, so much I can say. Outside the central region, my friends, again, you see, but outside central region is no changer. Why? Outside the central region, foreigners are not so excited. 10 years ago was 82%. Now, first 4 months is 84%. It's always have been 75, 85. So, therefore, the question here is this. If you're looking at investment, should you buy an OCR or RCR or CCR? Probably you know the answer. But I will tell you, if I have a choice, I will buy core central region. Because why? When the market moves, when foreigners come, they got deep pockets, your price can go up. But can every one of us afford CCR? Then what's the next option? I will consider RCR. Why RCR? RCR is just the outskirts, and yet you're paying a lower price, and more foreigners are going out. And you saw the earlier slide when I showed it to you, the percentage of RCR and OCR over the years have increased. But on the other hand, OCR is a Singaporean market. It's good to buy, it's okay, but you will not expect a huge amount of foreigners coming in. Okay, that's the major difference. Okay, let's move on. Public housing attaining the 5 years MOP have now come to huge numbers. If you look at it, 25,000 this year, and next year is 31,000, which means more of these HDB owners are already selling the properties, and they have an option to sell these properties. So when they sell all these properties, means they have some capital appreciation and they plow it back into either an upgrade or investment properties, buying 2 properties kind of thing, okay? Okay, my sincere apologies. I have to just speed up because warning red light have been given to me. But having said that, I just wanted to understand the kind of people who come and buy. I mean, I've just compiled these. China, mainland China, Malaysians, Indians, Indonesians are the top 4. And one of the greatest benefit that we have here is Singapore is a prize trophy asset. And you are talking about a billion population in China, billion in India, and Indonesia, how many 100 million? And they look at Singapore as a safe haven, security, and the way we manage crises. Who do not want to own a property in Singapore? So these are some of the things that happening, and Singapore always stand out if you buy the right property at the right location. Buying behavior, yes, people are generally sensitive to price, quantum, and as well as people are always looking to invest in a property that has got huge potential, transformation, future growth. That is the right thing to do. When you buy a development that is nestled around the surrounding, that has got future upsides, transformation, workforce, and so on, that you can have a tenant to rent your place, obviously it will increase your capital appreciations. Okay, good. Wow. I'll just speed up some of these things, don't worry. Some of the other buying behaviors here is this. If you look at it, recent times, the orange chart shows last year. In fact, what you notice is more people are buying bigger flat, above 1,200 square foot, 10.7% from 8.3, increase of 2.4%. Even the 800 to 1,000 to also increase, even 500. So generally, what is the thing here is this, today's trend is people are buying bigger space because they need space, okay? And then sweet spot, what is affordable? Below 2 million, easy go. More people can afford. Above 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, yes, there's some resistance, but we are looking at high net worth and other people who have that ability to buy. So generally speaking, property prices 1.5 million to 2 million, 45% of purchases are below 2 million, okay? So yes, what is the key thing here is this, today home is also a workplace and people are looking at futuristic in terms of the way it is laid out. Is it green support, sustainability, wellness, everything to put together? That's why new launches do stand out in many ways. So I'm ending, coming soon. Just give me another 2 more minutes and I'll just wrap up before I'm going to take some of your questions. I'm quite sure many of you got many questions. I hope to just address some of them. So today, based on the pandemic, you see a lot more impetus for construction industry, more technologies, more advancement, the way it's automation and robotics and so on. And one of the key things here is this, property market will continue to evolve, my friends. And just to give a reminder, location matters. That is so premium. And that's why if you just stay for another 15 minutes, don't drop off the link or the line. The next 15 minutes, once a rare opportunity for you to understand the advantage of a location will be presented by Ken. And it is property investment is always a long-term play. Don't come and speculate. Make sure you have exercise financial discipline, have some reserve for rainy days and so on. And property do provide a meaningful retirement plan if it is managed right. Okay, beautiful. And I've done my part without stressing the timekeepers and so on that they have already given me, and I finished these. Let me now just come with, is there any questions that people have asked here? Let me see if I'm looking at this thing. Okay, can somebody help me to see other questions here? Don't worry. Oh, yep. Okay, let me see. Okay, I got it. Okay, are there questions? This is no, it's under my name. Ken. Okay, let me refresh and see. Ismail Ghafor. Good. Wow. I think until tomorrow morning we can't finish. I've got so many questions. Let me just try to take some of the questions here. Is this? Okay, do you see a trend towards cluster? So many people have asked these same questions. Cluster housing, given the generation change in terms of buyers where they are targeting lifestyle. If so, do you recommend leasehold or freehold properties? What are your views regarding to freehold, leasehold versus? Wow. Can I just request? I promise you, my next seminar next week, I'll deliberately talk in a little bit more detail of the leasehold, because I'm just worried because my Q&A is only less than 10 minutes. If I answer this one question, I can only take one question. But in briefly, I do own 99-year leasehold property at Orchard Road. I do own freehold property in mainland Singapore, landed properties. I also own a 99-year leasehold bungalow in Sentosa. So there is no right or wrong answer. Obviously, given a choice, especially if you're buying landed properties in mainland Singapore, a freehold seems to be forever. But you have to pay a premium, okay? The greatest risk of a leasehold here is the lease decay. When the lease decay, you know, very recently in Geylang area, just last year or beginning of this year, the lease finished and all the owners have to hand over the land back to the state for $0. At the end of 99-year lease, you get zero. So there's no legacy planning of handing over your property in your will to the generations after generation. Doesn't work. So freehold has its advantage. But on the other hand, it is a government statute that all government land sales will only be 99. So I do own multiple 99 properties, and that's perfectly okay. And we have seen 99-year leasehold properties that has gone en bloc. And you know, and people went en bloc, even be it Normanton Park, previously was 99-year leasehold and went en bloc, and every owner's got about 1.7 to 1.8 million when they only bought it at less than $50,000, the first owners. Yep, and there are many HUDCs, okay, Tampines Court also went en bloc. So it is okay to buy a 99-year leasehold property as long as it has got balance enough lease for you to sell to the next owner, or unless you're looking for an en bloc. But I will never ask people to speculate on en bloc, because en bloc is a cycle that you cannot determine. Okay, but the questions also ask about cluster housing. Yep. It's another deep topic, I must say. You have to be, you must know what you want in your lifestyle. Cluster housing, the advantage here is this is a landed property that is clustered. You do enjoy facilities like swimming pool and maybe a gym and all other things, but the land is not yours. So you cannot plant up to you your mango tree or whatever it is, and you will have to conform to the MCST, the community over there in terms of upgrading and have to pay all the monthly fees and so on. So it's perfectly okay. It suits your lifestyle. All right. But there are a lot more things that you need to understand. I would honestly will say to all the listeners who have got this kind of very specific questions, do speak to our salespeople. They are trained, and some of the questions, if you ask, is too deep, they can always come back to us and we will be able to take it offline and help you and guide you along. Okay. Let me just try to ask one more question. There seems to be a growing divergence between new launches and resale. Do you see that trend continuing, Edmund De Silva? Yeah. As I said, the new launches tend to hold its price. This is another thing I'll be sharing next week, and some of the other speakers, maybe Calvin Fong having a session tomorrow, he will also be highlighting some of these things. The new launches, generally the prices are being held by the developer. He normally goes sensitive pricing at the start and he increased the prices along the way until TOP. But on the other hand, the resale market reacts to demand, and as the lease drop, it tends to taper off and the prices come to a stagnation. Okay, I put it one more challenge the resale owners have. You know, one of the biggest problems that we witness in the resale market, why when you buy a property at certain price and then you want to sell much higher, but you're not able to make a huge capital appreciation for resale? The main reason here is, put it this way. Say 15 years ago, somebody bought this property at $1,000 per square foot. And now you buy it at $1,500 per square foot, 15 years later in the resale market. And you desire to sell at $2,000. But the problem here is that those people who bought it at $1,000, they're happy to sell at $1,600, $1,700. Let me calmly say this. 15 years ago, somebody bought it at $1,000 per square foot. You bought it now at $1,500, but you desire to sell at $2,000. But those people who bought it at $1,000 are prepared to sell at $1,600, $1,700 now. So how can you get your $2,000? And that's your challenge. So that's why there is a price gap, and we think the price gap will continue to remain, especially because we witness the land bid prices have been very strong for some of the new launches. Okay, can you share your views on landed property, Jin Yo? A favorite question. Probably, I do not know how much more time I have. So they say they asked me to cut off and just wrap it up, and if not, they say they will strangle me. If not, they will pull me out. So this will be the last question, but I really feel my heart for all the people. I've got more than 10, 15 questions. I hope to take it off somewhere, some other opportunities, maybe some of my other seminars or what. There are always opportunities to reach to me or to my people. No problem. The last question, landed. I will sum it up. Gold mine, gold standard, better than 9.999, whatever way they measure it. You know why? Singapore is land scarce. If you own or you can buy a landed property, and especially it's freehold, I don't want to say you made it in life. That's not the right way to say it, but you are owning a prize asset. And believe me, landed property prices will continue to go up. It has gone up and it will continue to go up. Because at the end of the day, today, the per square foot at entry level landed is still so much lower, even in comparison to a 99-year leasehold in many of the locations. So with that, it is indeed a pleasure talking to you this morning, pleasure talking to you today and now, and I will not disappoint you. I'll be back next week. With that, let me hand over to Ken to lead you through on an amazing product. Ken.
Hi, good afternoon. Really thanks to PropNext CEO, Mr. Mohamed Ismail, of course, is my boss, for the awesome sharing. So actually now is the time after the awesome sharing. I think it's very important for us to bring you to the awesome so-called this new launch, which is actually the landmark about. So now let me bring you to the landmark about this. Okay, so before I actually started on the landmark, let me just give you some of the basic information about the landmark, yeah? So landmark, you can see on the photo there, landmark is actually seated on elevated land. Is it a Chin Street Road? Okay, the land approximately about 72,000 square feet as well, yeah? And total, we have 39 story and we have only 396 units. Yes, we have launched this property since 2020 on the November, but now on the first phase, now actually we are going for the second phase launch as well. So let me continue with this. But before I want to start, I want to tell you that just do a time check in case you want to go for your another like coffee or a dinner. We're going to have about 50 minutes time for me to share, a short 50 minutes time to the time check. I just have a 10 to 15 minutes time to share with you about this awesome project and why people saying that this is actually a hidden gem right in the city area as well. Yeah. So let me start on this one. Of course, before I start, I'm going to tell you that this is actually presented by three awesome developers as well, by ZSCD, SSLE, and also by MCC as well, right? So when I start, usually people are asking me, how come the slogan always see dare to have a city, river, and park? No, today I'm going to share you why this city, river, park, these three words actually make this so-called uniqueness, a superb selling point for this awesome project as well, yeah? So you can see the picture there, photo there, is actually the city means we are living in the city. We are near the river. How near? Later on the following slide, I will show to you as well. And also by the park. Yeah. So this is how we start about now. At first, ladies, let me start with in the city first. Now, before we go into this, as I said as well, I will take a 15 minutes. Quickly run through what is the best selling angle. But for more information, you are really encouraged everyone to please contact your agent to know more about this. Yeah. So, okay, as I start in the city as well, I want to show these maps, yeah? You can see the maps here. Of course, in Singapore, you know, we have OCR, RCR, and CCR kind of things, right? So if you look at the maps, you will see the red color actually present RCR, and the orange color is actually the CCR that we're talking about. Of course, CCR, we're touching on the orchard and the city. But look at how big, how wide is the RCR? Is all the way to Bishan, all the way to Potong Pasir, and all the way to Bukit Timah. Everything Pasir Panjang, all is RCR. But look at where is landmark. It's actually like what just now my dearest boss, Mohamed Ismail sharing, is actually you are buying the price of RCR, but you're shaking hand with CCR. You see, we are right at the center, in the heart of the city. Just imagine one of my investors, which actually bought a unit from me, telling me, oh, Ken is very good. Because why? If I buy this property, right, I think if I buy other RCR, if I buy landmark, right, so the landmark, why, even though taking cab to the city, why, is also like quite cheap, cheaper than the rest of the RCR. So my answer, I leave it to you guys, yeah? So this is actually where is the location about, right in the heart of the city. Now, after that, I also want to show this location map as well. Don't worry, it might look very confused to you, a lot of MRT kind of things, but let me make it nice for you. Why? Look at actually what we are doing now. Why we are saying that we are right in the center of the city. You see on top, you have Orchard and Dhoby Ghaut, and also on the left, you have Great World City and also Tiong Bahru, right? And on the right, you will see even you have Raffles Place, you have City Hall, you have MBS, okay? You have Marina Bay, a so-called business center. You also have, right below you, you have Chinatown and also Tanjong Pagar as well. Now, one of my investors who actually bought from me also said, he said, Ken, I like this map. I say, why? He said, you see, you put my investment, the landmark is on the middle. We are not too left and we are not too right. Because if you're too left, you will far away from places like MBS. If you're too right, you're far from Orchard, but we are right in the heart of the city. So yeah, I really love what he said as well. This is why he loved this investment so much. So you see, we are right smack center in the whole city about. Now, another one I want to show it to you as well. Singapore have 3 very popular key, Clarke Quay, Robertson Quay, and also we talk about Boat Quay as well. But you can see the yellow there. You can see the Robertson Quay, you can see the Clarke Quay, and you can see the Boat Quay. There is all the lifestyle about, but we are so close to them, especially you can see the Robertson Quay. Walking couple of minutes only. Later, I'll show you another slide. You will know how close we are to them, yeah? Okay, now we talk about the transformation. The first transformation, you see the black color there, that is actually a city rejuvenation. Rejuvenation is actually happened now as well. Actually, the places, the rejuvenation is going to be like Anson Road and a so-called Shenton Way aside. What they're going to be is they're going to transform into a 24/7 kind of like live, work, play kind of things that will extend all the business hour as well. So you want to know more, please check with your agent as well. They will let you know more because I got only 50 minutes. Yeah. Okay, the next one we are talking about as well is the SGH transformation. Just to let you know, from the landmark, the walking there take about 8 minutes walk as well. So near there. Now, what is this about? The transformation for the SGH, of course, we know that government are going to have a long-term plan for the 10-15 years, but now you can see the Duke campus is there, and we're going to transform into the biggest medication center as well. And you will see a lot of students, everything there as well. So this is where we talk about the potential tenants and your group of potential buyer as well, to be frank, in the future, yeah? Okay, the last one I want to touch on this, you can see the bottom one is the Great Southern Waterfront. The Greater Southern Waterfront, of course, you can see is actually a long-term, another 10-15 years, but we are not far from there as well. We are near. So you can see we are actually the transformation. We have a long-term transformation. We also have a 3-4 years transformation coming over. And we also have what existing already have, because you can see we are right in the city of everywhere. Yeah? Now, okay, this is the Google, this is actually the Google Earth that I love about this. I always show to my clients. You can, this is the thing what we are talking about. We're living in the city and we are on the left-hand side. You see the blue color, okay, near the river. How near? Later I'll show it to you. And the right-hand side is by the park. Now, I think this is the major selling things is about how many of you, we have seen many, we are living in the city. We should know that if you're living in a condo, left, right, in front, all is the condo as well. How often you come by to live in the city, but you're beside the park, right? So this is something that we are talking about as well. Okay, sorry. Of course, I want to tell something about me, very short one. Actually, my name is Ken, and I'm an advisory branch district director of PropNext, about 14 years in district. I am also a project in charge and leading a humble team of more than about 600 people. And I'm also a consultant, project IC. I'm a trainer. I'm a humble investor as well. But for this landmark, I'm more honored to be a project chief IC for the landmark and of course represent PropNext as well. Yeah. Okay, there is something about me. At least you know who am I, who is the one who's speaking to you now. So yeah, after the city, in the city and the location, of course, I want to touch on this very important thing is the amenities. Now, when we amenities, of course, we talk about the transport and the food. Am I right? So the amenity, you can see we are one of the very rare, whereby you can see landmark. Actually, we are so near walking distance to 2 MRT stations. On the right, you can see we are walking about 6 minutes. I personally walked before with a very steady speed. I never run. So it's about 6 minutes. We are reaching Chinatown MRT. And we took about 7 minutes. I'm reaching the Outram Park MRT. But for those people who actually homeowner or maybe the future tenant, they don't like to walk, they don't like to exercise like me, I hate to walk. Very simple. Just want to let you know that the landmark, actually the rear gate, the moment when you exit the rear gate, take you about 20 steps, 25 steps, you will see the bus stop right in front of you. So you take the bus, direct bus, one stop away. It took you about 2-3 minutes, one stop away, you are reaching the Outram Park. This is how convenient for the amenity it is. Yeah? Okay. After this, now after in the city, now I'm talking about near the river. Now, why I want to talk about near the river? You can see the location of the landmark, and you can see in front the Singapore River right in front of you. As I have shared with you before, we are actually near the river. Now we are very near to the quay. Now in front of me, on the top, you can see that is Robertson Quay. On the right bottom, you can see Chinatown. That is where I'm telling everyone that this is a very rare product that in the city you have in between, that is where East and West meet as well. So let's talk about the West as well, of course. Now, you can see the sign there. We are walking about less than, actually slightly less than 6 minutes. I personally walk as well, a cut through, and about less than 6 minutes, I'm reaching Robertson Quay. Now, after that, I took a walk from downwards. I took another 6-minute walk. I'm reaching a Chinatown as well. You see, that is where I'm talking about. You are in between. You are in the best of the both worlds. That is where East and West meet as well. Because you're walking in front 6 minutes to the Robertson Quay, behind 6 minutes to the Chinatown, and walking, if you're a person who actually like to exercise and walk, please, you walk another couple minutes more, 11 minutes, you are reaching Clarke Quay as well. Now, what is this about? Now, let me share you before I start about Robertson Quay. Now, this is something that I love a lot because it is an alcove bridge. After you walk 6 minutes before you're reaching the Robertson Quay, you will have to pass by this beautiful bridge, which is colorful, and especially nighttime, you won't miss it because the lighting there, you can see a lot of people go and take photo. Yeah. Now, from this one, let me touch on the Robertson Quay, 6-minute walk. Right? 6-minute walk from the location was you're having Robertson Quay because you can see the alcove bridge is right in front of you, right? Now, what is Robertson Quay? Because to be frank, this day, I think, am I right to say that most of you all should know that Clarke Quay and Boat Quay are more to maybe nightlife kind of things, right? But Robertson Quay is something that a very interesting place to go because I love to go there. I travel there, I went there, I visit there, usually at least 1 or twice every week as well, because you can go there early in the morning to take a coffee, and then after that, you take a brunch as well. Now, this is the thing that I'm showing you. The limitless time dining option, you have all the bistecca over there as well, all the good dining option. You have actually a Pabico there as well. This is all the food actually I love to visit there, all right? And also coffee, this is a cafe I'm talking about. You're having coffee there, you're taking a brunch over there as well. These are all the places, TCC, everything is there as well. Now, I'm showing you this, why I want to show you this. I'm not selling a food there. I just want to let you know this is all your potential tenants and your potential buyer in the future, whereby because they love this area, and then they will consider getting something that near to here as well. Yeah? Of course, another one walking about 6 minutes, reaching Chinatown. Chinatown-wise, I don't need to elaborate too much because I think most of you guys will know what is the fantastic food that they are having, our local food, satay, whatever thing over there as well. Another thing I want to touch on is Clarke Quay as well. Of course, I no need to elaborate more as well because Clarke Quay, you know, is full of nightlife and all the good cheered up place over there as well. Yeah. Now, this is actually the things that we are touching on the convenience right. Good. Now, after when we talk about just now in the city, near the river, let me touch on by the park. Look at this. Look at this of the beautiful thing. Why I put out there nature and greenery. Now, I want to share you something. When you actually purchase something from the city-wise, I think mostly things will happen. For example, your right, left, in front, back is all condo. Yeah, I think always happen that even though you go for a small little swim, and then people are looking at you. Some of the places, even that you're having, commercial building, people working, people looking at you. But this won't happen in here because you can see the whole facade, the outlooks of this beautiful landmark is actually a continuing of the contour terrain of all the Pearl Hill City Park as well. Yeah. So what is this about? You can see greenery in the city. Just want to share you one thing is, especially you can see the pool. They are having infinity pool on the 2nd floor. Now, I think, just want to share you something. I think you should know that for the pandemic, for this pandemic, it's really changed our lifestyle. For example, these days, many people by default, they had to work at home. Imagine today you work at home, especially me. I am stopping going to office now. Every day I'm going Zooming, looking at my computer, my iPad, my laptop kind of thing. So how I wish, or people who work at home, that after a couple of hours or 1-2 hours, you work, you look at your computer, your monitor, then you go up to the window there, you look at the greenery things. Am I right to say that? So I think living at the greenery is a very, very plus point, but this is what you lack of and so special about this project. Because living in the city is so easy for you to buy, to get a property that left, right, center, or is condo around you. But when you actually sitting in the city, it's so difficult, not so easy to get a property that actually just right beside the park. Now, this is something I'm talking about. If you are someone who actually like me, being a humble investor as well, I always believe that I like to invest on something that is unique. Now, what unique mean on this? For example, you're living in the city. Am I right to say that it's so unique that you are living beside the park? You're living beside the nature. Imagine, this is the infinity pool, I'm talking about, whereby when you do a small swim over there, what you're looking at is not the next door, the concrete building, not looking at other people working or people looking at you, but you're soaking on this pool, looking at the beautiful greenery. Imagine your future tenant, imagine people who work from home. You are facing the greenery every time. I mean, it will actually help your eyesight as well, isn't it? Now, especially this as well, this is one of the clubhouse located on the second floor as well, so that you can book here to host your friends or invite your friends to come here to sipping wine. Just imagine you're sitting there, peaceful and nature living, looking at the greenery itself. Now, how often you come by this kind of thing whereby buying a property at the city, whereby again, facing the greenery. Now, as I said before, facing the greenery, definitely you put yourself away from your competitors yourself. For example, if you buy something that unique, when you want to sell or when we want to sell to the resale market, right, you always set yourself unique and different from other products because you're facing the park is rare, right? So I think also your competitors also find a way to catch you as well because you are setting your own price as well. Now, not just this, another one I want to share with you, the uniqueness about this is, you see, of course, the level 2, the splash zone infinity pool, we already mentioned, yeah. But I want to let you know that what actually uniqueness of this is, we are not just having one sky terrace, not two, but we are having 3 sky terrace. Let me share with you this about. Now, the first sky terrace, we are having on the 14th floor. In the photo, you will see the 14th floor developer and the designer also very, they care about all the view of this property. They really specially design. There's a sky gym over there. You see, imagine you are doing your exercising in the gym, and then when you carry your weight, you're looking outwards to the beautiful so-called the Singapore River. How awesome is it, isn't it? And also 14th floor, you can look at the photo there. I also want to share you're not just having a sky gym, you're also having a beautiful so-called jacuzzi pool over there as well, the sky jacuzzi pool. So you should know why we're having a jacuzzi pool over there, because some of us, really want to go for swimming kind of things, but sometimes we just want to relax ourselves, go to the pool and soak in the jacuzzi pool, sipping a wine and relaxing, isn't it? So you can do it here, because why on the 14th floor, you soak in the jacuzzi pool, and then imagine you look at the beautiful view as well. Isn't it relaxation, isn't it? Then after that, another sky terrace we're talking about is the 34th floor. Now, this is actually we call the Verve. Now, one more beauty about the 34th floor is you're not just having everywhere, you can get every corner to look at different angle, because this is so unique that we are a single block. So this is why we are talking about, we are looking at 360 degrees of the view. But you're not just enjoying that, you are having a second so-called clubhouse over there as well. Now, this clubhouse even special, you're not just can host all your friend to come here and sipping wine and relax, right? You even can do some light cooking over there as well. When you do a light cooking inside, right? Imagine at the same time looking at a beautiful view, a stunning night view, and also I'm talking about is the so-called the fireworks, right? And the third sky terrace we are talking about is actually the on the top floor. We call it actually on the level R. We call it the peak as well. Same thing, you also can host your friend to have a very nice dinner or supper, or you can having sipping your wine over there as well. So this is actually unique. So whenever purchaser or investor or you are homeowner, you want to get a unit here, doesn't necessarily you have to go for a super high floor. You can go for a low floor, but yet you can go to either one of these 3 sky terrace to enjoy a stunning view and a beautiful view as well. Yeah. Now, look at this. This is the view that we are talking about, looking at the Singapore River. Imagine now you are actually, open up your window, having this view. Isn't it $1 million kind of artwork in front of you as well? Now, another one, this is looking at the south, because you can see we are single block. We have north and south. Just now looking at the north, looking towards the Singapore River. This is actually looking at the sea view as well. And you can see the greenery. Pearl City Park right in front of you. And of course, what else? As the fireworks as well. Now, show you the last photo of this. This is a stunning, beautiful night view as well that you're having. Imagine is another expensive $1 million artworks in front of you as well. Oh, look at the firework. So this is the view that we are talking about. Now, come to this, very fast. Somebody are queuing me as well. We are almost ending. Just want to let you know that what we are having. We are a single block. Now, look at the so-called the model that we are having. We are very simple. We are only having 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, and 3 bedroom. We have 4 stacks of 1 bedroom, the pink color. And then also you can see we have 5 stacks of 2 bedroom, which is actually a blue color, 5 stacks of 2 bedroom. And we have the green color, which means we have 2 stacks of 3 bedroom. Now take note, our 2 bedroom both come with all private lift. Next slide, I will touch on this more. Yeah, okay. So let me share on you the 1 bedroom first. What's so special about 1 bedroom? Our 1 bedroom have only 2 sizes. We have 495 and 517 square feet. Now, what's so special? You see, I put down there. We are larger than most of the average in the market, because most of the average in the market, with due respect, the 1 bedroom is about 430, 440 square feet kind of things. But our size is 495 is almost 500 square feet. So this is really a right size. Now, what this brings to you, because I think in future, you're an investor, you want to rent out, I believe your future tenant don't mind to pay slightly more to enjoy a bigger space, isn't it? So this is a plus point of our sizes. And secondly, also, please come down and arrange with your agent to come down to the showroom to look at how spacious it is, because we are one of the very rare that we are having 2.9 meters ceiling height. So imagine when you walk in, ceiling height 2.9, so the spacious is all there, okay? This is actually, and one thing, very good news to tell everyone. Now, our starting point now start from 1.1 mil only. The actual one is 1.113, but you see the unit number over there. You are buying a 17th floor. You see the PSF is actually about $2,000 PSF. Where to find? Am I right to say that? That's why I say this is really a so-called hidden gem in a city. Repeat, 1.1 mil, you're getting a 495 square feet. And then to be frank, that you can see is on the 17th floor. Yeah, 17th floor, which means you will enjoy beautiful view already. Because why? Because just now my photo, as we could show you as well, on the 17th floor, you're looking very far ahead. And also, to be frank, you are enjoying Singapore River view as well. Yeah. Okay, the next one, I'm talking about the 2 bedroom. The 2 bedroom, we have 678 and 764 square feet. And take note, all our 2 bedroom come with 2 bed and 2 bath. You should know some of the, because of the sizes constraint, some of the unit you're buying, some of the development you're buying, because of size constraint, they only give you 2 bed, 1 bath, but all our 2 bedroom is 2 bed, 2 bath. Now, I want to touch on this wonderful layout of our 764 square feet. You see, that is the thing I'm talking about, not just 2 bed, 2 bath, and you can enclose the kitchen area. You look at the red color there, you will see. Now, why I say this so special? Because for your future selling and future tenant, I believe most of the model here, if you visit the showroom before, you should know, when you walk in, right, there will be a kitchen and direct connect to the living area. You can't enclose. But this model, because of this special layout, you can enclose the kitchen. So I believe your future tenant will love it as well. Now, the last one, before I go to the last 3 bedroom slide, I want to touch with you something. The price, amazingly, you can see. Do you think that is worth for you? You better don't miss it. Come and take a look. The price starts from 1.499, less than 1.5 mil. PSFY 1,900 plus to purchase a city area near to the CCR but paying an RCR price. Do you think worth it or not? Please come and take a look for this 764 square feet. Yeah, because the price, to be frank, if you check with your agent, it will know that you will get surprised, because you are buying a price almost 20 to 25% cheaper than your surrounding, some of your surrounding. I don't elaborate more. Please check with your agent. Repeat, you are buying this price with a very super safe entry, because it's about 20 to 25%, slightly cheaper than your surrounding new launches as well. Yeah, please check with your agent to know more about this. Now, lastly, they are queuing me, sorry. I want to touch on 3 bedroom. Now, 3 bedroom wise, you can see the green color, I'm touched on the private lift. Now, our 3 bedroom, we have only 2 stacks, both come with private lift. Look at the private lift there. I think this is an extraordinary, very good selling angle. Why? Because in this, believe me, go and check around, in the whole vicinity of this area, right? Private lift, usually it will comes with a 4 bedroom, which means it's a bigger size, which also means the quantum will be higher as well, right? But at the landmark, you will enjoy. You are paying lesser money to get a 3 bedroom. You have your private lift as well. And why I say this study room beside master? Now, this is a superb layout as well. You will get pampered by our developer and the designer. Why I want to touch on this? Because by having a study room is one thing, but by having a study room beside the so-called master room is a plus point. Look at the red color, the study room, I'm emphasize to you. Because the moment when you want to make it extend, you can see the blue color extend, right? Push out your so-called your master room door, and this thing can become your walk-in wardrobe. Now, why is this thing very important? Because the landmark, the developer and the designer thinking really want to pay so-called the pampered, the paymaster, taking care of the paymaster. Because as a homeowner, I think most of the floor plan, most of the layout you go and see, 3-bedroom, right? You have only master room. The master room, the sizes is about that. Look at the master room, the sizes is there, but your wardrobe are so small. Do you think it's enough for the lady master to put in all the clothes? I think the answer is no, right? To me, I don't think it's enough. So by having this, is really pamper the paymaster, the owner as well, because you see, when you have a master room, you can actually extend your door. You can make use of the study room to become a walk-in wardrobe for you as well. And not just this, I want to touch on this. Our layout, this layout is 1141 square feet. It's so good until you have another so-called yard, but you can transform into utility room. This is utilities room whereby you can actually let your helper to stay there as well. Because you can see beside there's a WC over there. Again, please contact your agent to know more. Our plus point is here. It's only 2.2 mil. It's only 2.2 mil, right? Please start from 2.2 mil. You own a private live property as well. Yeah. Please contact your agent because they start queuing me. Now this is the last slide. I promise this is the last slide. Now please visit your landmark show flat location, 79 Indus Road, postcode 161079. We have a beautiful show flat to wait for you to visit us. Yeah, please contact your agent. Of course, now social distancing, you can only one serving one. Please take care and ask your agent to so-called to contact. Yeah. So you have any? Can I have some question? Is there any question? Yeah. So now it's Q&A time. You never on for me. Okay, Q&A time. Where is this about? Okay, the first question I'm thinking about is, would noise from CT be a concern? Now, this one is a very good question from Chia Jiang-ying, right? So let me share you one thing. This one, you not worry, because two things I want to let you know. Because the CTE, we are semi-underground CTE. Please check your agent as well, because if you visit that before, you should know that our CTE not direct on top. It's actually a semi-underground CTE, whereby the noise, I think, will be deducted from there as well. So the noise not concerned. And secondly, I want to let you know, the developer confirmed we are using, especially on the north side, we are using laminated glass, the window. Laminated glass is a window. So the laminated, of course, it will help you to reduce the noise as well. So need not worry about this because I cannot handle too long the question. You can check your agent, go down there and take a look as well. Yeah. Okay, is a one-to-one car park lot allocation on the residences? Great, this is a very good question because to be frank, we have 396, so-called 396 unit, right? But our car park lot is about 205 car, I think 210 car park. So it's not really one-to-one, but it's more than enough definitely because we have actually gone through a lot of analysis or things. Usually, whenever nearby MRT, you doesn't need to one-to-one kind of things these days. Mostly it's about 60% of the total unit, but we are more than enough. Please go down and check with your agent as well. Yeah. Okay. The last question and handle. The landmark is in the CBD. No, the answer is no. We are not in CBD. That's why it's good because why? Landmark actually have the best location because from the CTE, with the moment you exit Outram Road, you make a U-turn back, and that is where actually the landmark is. So you are not really in the CBD. You're doing to pay all the ERP as well. Yeah. So that's it for the question I have to answer because it's my time constraint. So I put down here. I wish everyone thank you for listening to me, and everyone take care of yourself and be safe. Yeah, stay safe. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Right, I want to say a big thank you to Mr. Ismail Ghaffur and Mr. Ken Ng for sharing with us. Of course, both of them are from PropNext, and I want to say a big thank you as well to all of you for tuning in to our Singapore Property Show 2021. Okay, so those of you who have signed on for the lucky draw, okay, through the link during their presentation just now, you have a chance now to win one of $200 cash prizes. Okay, your names will be put up on a wheel, and this wheel will be put up on the screen right here. Right? There you go. You can see it. Okay, there's so many names, okay, that we cannot see every single name out. Okay, so I think there's over what 500 plus names right now. Okay, so all of you watching, okay, we're gonna start the wheel now and go. All right, spinning. In a short while, you're going to see a name pop out, okay? And that'll be our first winner, okay, for this particular session. And there you go, right. Jerry Ng, congratulations. You have won for yourself a $100 cash prize, okay? I'm gonna spin the wheel one more time. Let's go. Okay, we got one more $100 cash prize to be given away, and it's gonna go out to, let's see, name's gonna come out right now, Ko Zi Ming. Okay, congratulations, okay? The SPS team will be contacting you directly to let you know how you can redeem your prize. Okay. Now, we're going to have more webinars coming up on the show. It's not the end yet. Okay. We have one more webinar on luxury property that's going to happen on next hall in a very short while. Okay. So if you're interested in that, I'll see you over at the next hall.